I'm Monica Decker. I'm the Director of Marketing Technology here at Moxi Real Estate. I wore my zombie t-shirt today for 2 reasons. It's Halloween, and this is how I feel. There's a rollout. I'm going to go over a couple updates for you with the new rollout, which I'm so excited because today is the final phase of the rollout. Yay! We saved the best for last. We're going to go over Buyside today. We have Shannon Weinman and Jed Kelly speaking today. So a few things I want to go over first. I want to go over Connect, some updates there for you. So first off, single sign-on, we're making progress there. Incidentally, in the left-hand margin here, you'll see, in case you didn't know, there's a little arrow that, if you don't know, you can actually collapse. As you hover over next to the headings here, it actually displays. And then when you select it, it actually opens that particular folder for you. Okay. The single sign-on, I wanted to give you an update there. The following single sign-on portals are under the SSO portal, and these are now live for you. The continuity programs, so that's where you sign up for your coming to market postcards, and the company used to send out your just sold postcard program. Home Spotter app dashboard is also live now too, so you can go there if you want to look up or create a text code for your new Home Spotter app that was launched last week. The leading already access, that's the leading real estate companies of the world intranet. You can single sign on. What I mean by single sign on is once you log into Macaulay Connect with your Macaulay email credentials, you're automatically signed into all these separate dashboards, so you don't have to remember different login credentials for each one anymore. Okay. Of course, the Moxi Suite, all of these, Moxi Engage, Moxi Present, Moxi Promote, which is their social media advertising platform, those are all live now with single sign-on. And then Zip Forms last week just went live as well. So incidentally, when you click on Zip Forms the first time, which is the ZipLogix SSO, you do have to log in with your Zip Forms login for the first time, and then thereafter you'll automatically be logged in every single time.
So we've always gone through, I've always gone through the Nair. Are we Nair login? Or let's see.
The same login you use, probably your Macaulay email credentials, because that's the one you need to access the Macaulay library. Okay. Under the education link, down below here, there's Class Agent Tools, Education here. Last week we had a Home Spotter webinar. Many of you participated on that. I think there were several of you on that, so thank you. We do have the pre-recorded link here under Education, under the Home Spotter webinar link here, as well as the Moxi Agent website training. I think there were about 52 agents that participated in that webinar last week, so that was a great turnout. Both of these are links you click on. It's a video that you each of them about 45 minutes, so obviously you can stop and replay it if you need tips on any of the offerings there. Our YouTube channel, I'm going to collapse this. We have our Macaulay Agent Training channel. These are being updated often, this actual channel, so please check back here often. We did add recently the MoxiWorks Engage rollout that we had at Village and Star on October 1st, so those are here for you, as well as yesterday. I've got a lot of questions from agents asking, how do I add that testimonial tree link to my agent website? There's a 1 minute, 24-second video here showing you exactly how to do that. So, like I said, if you check back here often, we will have that updated. Request forms, just a little reminder, that's below the YouTube channel. This is where you're going to find the commercial sign requests or 4x4, 4x8 requests, the community title order form, marketing items, requests, office maintenance requests, and then at the bottom you'll see the yard arm request form. So that's the same form you're familiar with. These are email forms that go directly to Jeff Hutchinson, our sign installer. So there's no more auto response. I know some people are like, well, how do I know if he got it? Jeff is very, very good with sending an email once the job is completed. Okay? Jeff knows that within 48 hours he has to complete your request, whether it be a yard repair, in high winds we do those repairs at no cost to you, or we put up yard arms or take them down for you. Then finally, just a few tips about Connect before I move on to your agent website customization. If you don't see any of the links in the left-hand margin here, chances are you're not logging in with your Macaulay login credentials. So that's number one. Number two, Internet Explorer is not compatible, remember, with Macaulay Connect. So you have to use Chrome, Firefox, or Safari, or maybe Microsoft Edge for PC. iPhones older than 7 are not supported, so if you're having some issues, that could be why as well. So iPhone 6, that's about 6 or 7 years old now, like time to update. Tell you. And then finally, this is a great tip. So some agents are like, I can't find certain things in Connect, I need to go to it right away. Don't forget, there's this great search box up here. So if you just type in engage, if I can type, it pops up, just have the first 3 letters you type in, that particular subject will pop up for you. So I typed in engage and Moxi engage goes up to the top. Good? Okay. I'm going to show you a few things on your new agent website. How many of you have delved into the new agent website yet? Anyone? Anyone? Oh, good. Very, very good. Don't be intimidated. I'm going to close a few windows here. So to get your agent website, you're going to want to go to Moxi Engage. And under the top right corner here is your profile. So you'll see either your photo or your initials. And when you click on the little arrow next to your photo or initials, you're going to see a website in here. When you click on that, it's going to open in a new window like this. And this is the link we've been talking about. So you should see a link that says Access Your Website Admin. If you don't see that link, please email either Lionel or myself, and we will follow up with you on that. Click on Access Your Website Admin, and this is where you can actually do the customization for your agent website. And I know there have been a few agents who've kind of dived right in, and started customizing your website. Justin, Cecilian, Maria McShane, they've done some pretty cool things with their website already. So this will take you to this window. Welcome to the Agent Website Admin tool. And when you scroll down, it's the common tasks area that you actually want to go to. And you can actually go through each of these bullets when you have time, but I'm going to show you the primary ones you probably want to look at very basically how you can start customizing your website. So the first one is personalize your site's style. So I'm going to click on Go There. The Go There link. And that will take you to this new window. So by default, you have a search-focused website. So it has the proper search fields at the very top of the website. But if you wanted to, you can actually have an agent-focused layout. So when you click on that and click Publish, it updates your website in real time. And that took less than 10 seconds, right? So I will show you how that works. Yes. So this is how it looks right now. So it puts all your paragraph and your contact information at the top if you like. Otherwise, the default is the property search one. So I'll go back to Publish and refresh it to show you how that works. So this is the default version of how your website looks like. By default, you have an exterior home. I'm going to show you how to change that header image in a moment. I'll show you how to add the paragraph here as well. These buttons down on the right here takes you down to another portion of your website. And then down below, here's the mortgage calculator. Okay. I'm going to go back to appearance, and actually I'm going to go back to the common tasks area. So the second bullet is another one you want to check out. The second bullet is another one you want to check out because that's where you can actually customize your website, the paragraph, and so forth. So we're going to go to personalize your homepage, which is the second bullet here. And there's a top radial button here that says show a single image. So you have two options. You can upload your own photo if you'd like, or if you click on upload or choose an image, there's actually a gallery of images to choose from. The second tab here is your image gallery. And it's pre-populated with mobile optimized images, which is pretty huge because it's a real pain in the butt to have mobile optimized images if you're familiar with that. So there's a broad spectrum here. So outdoor landscapes, interior shots, we try to go pretty high end with the images we had chosen for you. And there's plenty to choose from here. And all you really need to do is click on it. And then down below is a button that says select for custom area. See, it updated the thumbnail in real time, so when I go back to my website and I hit refresh again, it will update it. It really does
You have to scroll down and click publish everything.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm learning this program too. Okay, there we go. Thank you. There. Now, the final thing I want to show you, where there's a few other things that you might want to alter on your homepage. So by default, it will show you the feature properties for your office or for the company. You can actually change that as well under this personalize your homepage area. If you scroll down, there's more options. Incidentally, the default headline on your website is Find Your Dream Home. But under the headline, if you want to change that copy, you can do so here. The marketing department already put your photo and contact information, but if ever you want to change the display on your website, your phone number change or whatever, that can be changed here. The welcome text is actually where you would put your paragraph, so your agent profile paragraph. So if you copied it from the old website, or if you want to copy it from the MLS profile you have, you can copy and paste it here. Again, once you hit the publish button, that will publish your website in real time. Featured properties, by default, like I said, it says my company's active listings, but there's a drop-down menu here next to the property list. You can choose my active listings, and that will display only your active listings on it if you wanted to. There's a few other options if you'd like. My sold listings, my office listings, my company sold listings. So you have a few options here as well. And again, it's just a drop-down menu. You select it, hit publish, and it updates in real time. Okay. If you want to set up custom searches, you have that opportunity. And then if you want to add a blog, there's those options as well. We'll be doing more training webinars in the coming weeks. So I'll notify you when that happens. One last thing I want to show you. So testimonials, I did say that your testimonial trees pulled over from the old website. And let me show you how that happens. So I'm going under the admin, site pages, and I'm clicking on all pages. And that's going to take me to a new window. So this shows you all the main navigation links in your top navigation bar. You want to scroll down to About Me. And there's an option here. There's 2 testimonials that will display here. One says testimonial page, which is one where you can actually manually add testimonials. But the one you want to display is the testimonial tree page here. So by default, it's hidden. But you want to select it and click View. And then it will display under the About Me area of your website. And again, all of them will pull over, so if you have 76 testimonials, those will all pull over. Here's a caveat though. If in your testimonial tree you don't have your Macaulay email address in the testimonial tree dashboard, it will not pull over. So you do want to go in there and make sure that that's in there. Okay?
I've seen a couple of websites where the testimonials are on the drop-down menu there, so how do you keep that in the
Great question. So this is drag and drop. So basically, since the testimonial tree is under the About Me, you just click and drag it out. And then that would put it in the main menu for you then. So it would no longer be under the About Me, it would be a main menu. You can hit publish there. Once you hit publish, that's where it would go. Okay. Any other questions? At that, I was going to head over to Jen Keller and Shannon Wyman, and they're going to go over our main presentation for today on Buyside. Thank you.
We're ready for a new website, right? You guys excited? I'd be excited if I were you. All right, so we can get this hooked up. Okay, we are in business. I'm just gonna. Okay, can you guys hear me? Yes. Okay, how's everybody this morning? Are we energized? Are we excited? Are we freezing cold? I know. My toes are still frozen. I'm here to talk to you about Buyside. It's a brand new tool that your amazing brokerage is offering to you. Just to give you a brief agenda of where we're going to start and where we're going to finish, I'm going to take about 2 minutes to tell you a little bit about my background. One, hopefully so you don't think I'm some tech nerd standing up here trying to tell you how to do real estate. I actually have practiced real estate. Then we're going to talk about what the promise of Buyside is, what you guys can expect to receive from utilizing this tool, because it's really important to know what the end result will be, right? What's going to be the benefit that you can get out of it. And then we're going to take a live tour. We're going to go in and we're going to take a test drive of what you can start utilizing today. Does that sound good? Okay. So as Monica mentioned, my name is Jen. I'm the girl with 2 first names, Jen Kelly. I am originally from Philadelphia. I was born and raised there, and in 2001, I got my real estate license. I actually started in Pennsylvania and then got my reciprocal license in New Jersey, and I started in new home construction. I did that for about 7 years in sales and then 2.5 years as a VP of sales and marketing. And it was during that wonderful time in the mid-2000s where the market was super awesome, and then it anybody remember that? Yeah, so I fortunately made the cut every time with my big builder. We went from 262 employees down to 32, and I was like, yes, I made it. I'm still with the company. I still have a job. But what that meant is I had to work 7 days a week. Literally, for 2 years, I was working 7 days a week as the VP of sales and marketing for New Jersey and Pennsylvania. So after about 2 years, I said, I cannot sustain this. I can't do this any longer. I need to find a better way of life. I need to have more control over my day. I need to have a better work-life balance. So I had this amazing idea that I would quit my job at this large builder, and I would take my license and put it to good use and become a residential real estate agent. That's when you all laugh. I found out very quickly that you have no control over your time. You don't have control over your days. You don't stop working at 5 o'clock, do you? Do you work on Saturdays ever? Yeah, do you get interrupted when you're having a dinner party with a buyer calling, that listing you just sent me was amazing, let's go see it. And meanwhile you're like, oh yeah, sure, let me look that up, right? Because you've got systems to send these listings out to people. Well, I learned very quickly that your time is not your own, so I appreciate each and every one of you in this room because it's tough. It's a really, really hard job, and dealing with the general public is not easy. So kudos to you for weathering the storm. After about 4.5 years, I decided, for absolutely no good reason at all, I had built a really good business, mostly on referral. I had a good sphere of influence, and I just constantly asked people for their business. Hey, did I do a good job for you? Can you tell somebody else about this? And I'm a huge Brian Buffini fan. Does anybody know Brian Buffini? Yeah, huge Buffini fan. So items of value, hot buys, handwritten notes, that was what I did to run my business. But after about 4 years, I had absolutely no good reason to do this, but I decided to pick up and move to sunny California. I rented my house, put my dog in the car, and just went west. So I moved to California. I had no job. I had no place to live. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I just wanted to change of pace, and I had the guts to do it at that time. So when I landed in Southern California, I started to engage with other real estate agents. I didn't have a sphere of influence, so I was not comfortable starting a real estate business, really starting to do sales, but I figured I could help them with marketing. Well, pretty quickly after talking to 3 different agents, they said, you need to call our corporate office because our marketing department is in transition and we just need to call them. So I called, and they pretty much offered me a job after like a week or 2 of conversations. So I was the director of marketing for a large brokerage in Southern California. You may have heard of them, Berkshire Hathaway. So I loved that job. I had an amazing time. I could put my skills as a real estate agent at the forefront of every decision that I was making for my agents. And much like Monica, we have vendors pounding down our door every day saying, look at our shiny new tool, it's going to be amazing, your agents are going to love it, and it's super easy. We have to filter through all of that because, newsflash, it's not super easy, right? You're with me. It's not super easy, and we have to kind of break it down and make sure that if we're going to put our company's money towards something, that it has to be something that is valuable to you, and it has to turn results for you. So the 2 big questions that I asked every single vendor that came in front of me was, is this product going to make my agents more money? First and foremost, that's what I care about. Is it going to make them more money? And the second question was, is it going to make their lives easier? Is there something that your tool can do to either add more time back into their day, because it's easy to use, or it's going to give them more business, or close deals quicker, whatever the case may be? So Buyside came knocking on my door a couple of years ago when I worked for Berkshire Hathaway. And I put them through the ringer. I'm from Philadelphia, so I was really throwing them. And they came to our door and they said, we have this amazing tool. We'd like you to consider it. Well, I launched this tool. We loved it. I launched it at my brokerage in Southern California, and that was not an easy task. We had 3,000 agents that I had to get the attention of. Could you imagine trying to get the attention of 3,000 independent contractors that don't have to listen to me? They don't have to open my email, right? Like, it was hard. So we had a big party, and we rolled it out with a couple other things, and our agents just loved it. And I was talking with the owner of the company, and he said, we're really looking for somebody that can help take our marketing to the next level because we're growing as a company. And he said, and by the way, we're based in Philadelphia. And I was like, oh. Well then. So, long story short, I still live in Southern California because it's beautiful, and it certainly is not as chilly as here. But I do get to go home to Philadelphia to see my family. I actually get to go see them tonight. I'm so excited to spend Halloween with my little nieces and nephews. But I also get to see the team in Philadelphia. So Shannon and I are the only West Coast contingent of Buyside, but we hold down the West Coast side in sunny San Diego, but then we go to see our team in Philadelphia all the time. So that's why I'm here. I will probably talk very much in terms about when I was an agent and what I experienced in this presentation. So, you guys ready for the ride? Come back over here. I move around a lot. Okay, what can we promise to you? What can you expect from Buyside? Buyside is here to help you leverage your greatest untapped asset, which is data. And you're probably like, I don't get that. What does that mean? What are you talking about, Jen? Well, what you need to know is that Buyside will help you capture seller leads. Does anybody want more seller leads? Yes. How about winning more listings? Would you like another feather in your cap on that listing appointment? Right? Because how many agents do sellers usually interview? How many? 3, 5, right? There's always more than just one, right? Unless it's your brother and he has no choice but to go with you, then they're going to be looking at other agents and trying to interview them. And sometimes they do interview other people and you're like, hey, stop it, right? Last, we're going to help you close deals quicker. If we can help you close deals quicker, you have the choice to bring on more deals, right? Or you have the choice to maybe have a better work-life balance. Maybe you want to take that time to cultivate and nurture the relationships that you just haven't had time for. Wouldn't that be amazing, right? So that's what Buyside is going to help you do. And we do that with data. And let me explain what type of data we're going to do that with. Where do home buyers start their searches for a property? The internet. Who was in the business when we had MLS books? All right, we got a good number here. For those of you that have no idea what I'm talking about, a long time ago, not too long ago, but a little while ago, we had these MLS books. MLS books held all the information about what was on the market. There was no internet, there was no Realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, any of those websites. So what did the consumer have to do if they wanted to buy a home? They had to come to you. They had to call you, God forbid, right? Holy cow, remember those days when they had to call you? Right? So they would have to call you. They would have to drive around and look at signs in the yard, right? Or they'd have to look at the Sunday newspaper to see what about open houses. So as a real estate agent, when we had these MLS books, you held the information on the buyers, right? You knew what they were searching for, and you held the information on what they could go see. I'm going to talk a lot about supply and demand today, so keep that in the back of your mind. But we know now that since the internet came about, those MLS books went away. And for those of you that were in the business, go ahead and raise your hand again. Let me see your faces when I say this. Do you remember that moment in time when the internet came about and all of that control slipped through your fingers? How about the time when your buyer would call you and say, I want to go see this property this weekend, and that property was not in the school district that they demanded to be in? Or maybe that property didn't have enough bedrooms for their children, right? Buyers will say, I need a 4-bedroom house because I've got 3 kids and they cannot share a room or they will kill each other. Well, why am I showing you a 3-bedroom house? Right? Did you lose a child? What happened here? Did you forget the grocery store? Come on, guys. You're there as their business professional, right? You're there as their guidance. You're there to keep them level-headed, keep them focused on what they told you was necessary and mandatory in their search for a home. But what happens when we shop online? Does anybody shop online? We get quick happy. We get excited about sales. We get excited about deals. We get excited about shiny objects. Just like we do, buyers also get excited about properties. My nephew will buy any home that has a basketball net. I kid you not. Any home that has a basketball net. Ma, can you get that one? That's his number one priority in a home. But as real estate professionals, don't you help to guide your buyers to the right possible solution, knowing full well that some things can be added or changed to a property, right? You can't pick it up and move it. That's one thing you can't do. But can't you add a pool, right? They say they have to have a pool. What about a kitchen with granite countertops? Wow. Imagine adding granite countertops to that wonderful kitchen at that house that is below your price and has more than what you want in a home, but the only thing it doesn't have is granite countertops, right? That's what you guys do as their business advisor. So, with the change in our market, with the way that we have changed the way of our doing business, as real estate professionals, we've all kind of weathered the storm. Congratulations. I'm glad that you guys stuck with it and tried to figure out how to navigate these crazy buyers that are out there. But we also know they're going here, they're going to the computer, they're going to the internet to start their search. They're not calling us anymore, okay? 94% of home buyers start their search online. Have you guys ever thought about how valuable that information can be? They're starting their search online. What if you actually went into your next listing appointment and said, I understand the real-time buyer demand for your home, and I've got a report to show you this. I've got a report that can show you what the search activity is for your specific home. And I've got a report that can show you how many buyers are working with my peers at Macaulay Real Estate that could be a match for your home? Wouldn't that be kind of interesting? Wouldn't that give you another leg up in that listing presentation to say, Mr. Seller, I am the one for the job. Not only can I tell you what your home is worth based on your CMA, but I could also tell you what the real-time demand for your home is, looking at supply and demand. So the problem is, you guys can't call Zillow and find out how many buyers are searching for a specific property, can you? Right? You can't just say, hey, 123 Main Street, how many buyers are out there? What's the online search activity? Problem is that it's all fragmented because it's not just Zillow searches. You've got a mobile app, right? Your mobile app is pretty slick. My old brokerage had that same one. I love it. So buyers are searching on your mobile app. They're searching on your websites. They're searching on your broker's website. They're searching on Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com. They're searching all over the place. But it's all fragmented, right? So what Buyside is here to help you guys do is achieve those three main benefits that I mentioned before. To engage sellers. To prove to them that you are the knowledge broker and that you truly understand the real-time demand for their home. That's not only going to help you impress them and get their attention, but it's also going to help you get that listing every single time. So let's get into this. So the first piece of Buyside is going to be a marketing tool. This marketing tool is called a home valuation site. Has anybody ever seen home valuation sites? Yeah? Are you guys familiar with the term AVM, automated valuation model? It's a real popular one out there. It's rhymes with pillow, starts with a Z. Remember that one? Okay. Yeah. So that one is probably the most common, right? Don't we think that most sellers probably start at Zillow to find the value of their home? Has anybody ever walked into a listing appointment where the seller didn't tell you the value of their home? They all think they know, right? So they all think they know the value of their home because they go to the computer. And the internet doesn't lie, does it? No. The problem with AVMs is that they're going to start the conversation, but they can't finish it, right? Does anybody want to tell me why the AVMs can't finish the conversation? What are some of the shortcomings with these automated values, like the Zillow's estimate? They don't know the results. What else? They have no legs. They can't walk through the home, right? It's a computer. And why is that beneficial? They don't know the condition. They don't know if it has a beautiful golf view. Look at this. I mean, is there a higher value on a property that has a view like this as opposed to one that, you know, maybe looks like the street? How about a condominium? Has anybody ever sold condominium units? You ever priced a condominium? You could have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath on the first floor. Is there a difference in value from the same floor plan that is a 7th floor courtyard view? Well, guess what? A computer has to walk through that home to see that view. So those AVMs can only start the conversation, and let's let them do that, right? Let's let them start the conversation for the seller, but who's going to finish it? You are. And how do you finish that? By a walkthrough and doing your CMA, right? When you see all of those matching properties that these computers assume are matches, don't you pick out the ones that are not a direct comp? Don't you spend a little bit of time on that? Well, that's why these AVMs will only start the conversation, but they won't finish it. So what we're doing here at Buyside is we're actually delivering you guys a marketing tool. It's a website, it's a landing page. Now this can be ingested into your new website pages, okay? So you can market that website. If it's monica.macaulayrealestate.com, if that's your website, we can ingest this right in here. So if you just want to market one page, you can. But I will tell you, when we talk about marketing strategies, we want to keep our potential clients super laser focused, right? Because what happens when you go on Amazon? Do you just start searching for the one product that you went there for? Or do you look at the other items and say, oh, I need that too, and I need that? So our sellers and our buyers are the same way. They're going to get derailed. But the moral of the story is we're offering you this personalized page. And this personalized page is intended to answer the 2 most important questions every seller has. What's the first one? It's my homework. Second one, how fast can you sell my house? Right? Can you do it with no sign in the yard standing on your head and don't put in the MLS? Sometimes what they ask nowadays. I don't know why this is a phenomenon, but man, we've got to stop with these crazy requests. But anyway, this home valuation site is meant to answer those 2 important questions. Instead of sending the potential seller to Zillow, send them to your site. We're going to deliver up to 3 different AVMs. Why? Because one resource isn't the best resource. You want to look at up to 3 different options and hopefully show that potential seller the disparity between those values. Show them that that can start the conversation, but it can't finish it, right? Only you can. Then after we show them those values for the home, we change the conversation into showing them what the real-time buyer demand is. Looking at supply and demand to not only engage the seller, but when you get that listing appointment, you can use it to price the home effectively, okay? So this heat map is a great way to show what buyers are searching for and what they're searching online. Now, as you guys ramp up this system and you start to help to feed it and put more information in here, and I'll tell you how it's very easy. Don't get nervous or worried about technology and what you need to do, but I want to show you where your future is going to be in the very near future, in the coming months. We're even going to have a funnel that shows what the buyers are doing online and get very specific to a seller. Why? They care about themselves, right? They want market data, but they also want to know about their specific home. And then we ultimately can help to finish that conversation by showing how many buyers work with Macaulay agents right now that could be a match for their home. Could you imagine that? This is a website that you've just marketed to your farm or your sphere of influence. And you said, hey, just find out what your home is worth right now and how many buyers are searching. And then eventually we can show them how many buyers are working with your spheres right now that could be a match for their home. Don't you think that would be impressive to a potential seller? Right? You're pretty much validating that the idea that they have in their mind can become reality, right? It can be a reality for them. Now, capturing seller leads is done with that home valuation site. We're going to take a live tour of this in just a few minutes, but I want you guys to understand that this is the marketing tool, okay? Now let's say you actually get a couple of hits off of this, you actually capture some leads. What do you do next? You go on that listing appointment, right? And when you go on the listing appointment, what's the first thing you guys do? What's the first thing you do other than hang up the phone? Right? What's the next thing you do? Before you get to the house, when you're preparing to get there, pull up the information on the house. What else are you pulling up? Comps, right? You want to walk in there armed and dangerous, right? You want to know what the other sales have been in the area. So when you pull up those comps, you're looking at the supply. You're looking at what the competition on the market is. You're looking at what the recent solds are, and you're talking all about the pricing aspect of the home in relation to supply. We have a listing presentation report that is going to supplement your CMA, and it's going to talk about the demand. This is what we call a BMA, a Buyer Market Analysis Report. This, along with your CMA report, will show the seller what the real-time buyer demand is for their home. Not only will you impress them, but you're also going to be able to get them to set the appropriate value in the home. How many of you have taken a listing at a higher price than what you really want to take it for? Raise your hand. We've all done it. We've all done it. How easy is it for you to get that price reduction? It's not. You know, I mean, I've had to fire some sellers. Literally, I had to say, listen, I tried it your way. There's nothing I can do to sell your home at this price. I can't pick it up and move it. We've taken new photos. We've done everything that we can except reduce the price. But I also didn't have a report behind me at that time to say, this is what the buyers are demanding based on the price that you've set. How about we look at the price that I'm setting and what the buyer demand is? So this standalone listings presentation report, this buyer market analysis report, it's a printable high-resolution PDF, or it can be shown on a mobile device. We're also taking it one step further. You guys have Moxi Present, right? Guess what? We're adding some of this info into Moxi Present as well. Why? Because we want it to be easy for you. I don't want you to have to jump around to 6 different places to prepare for a listing appointment. We want to make it easy. Now, I will tell you, what we're pulling into Moxi Present is not this full report. So if you want to pull that information into Moxi Present, start the conversation, maybe get the listing, then if you want to go deeper into that conversation with the seller, you've got this full report in our system that you can pull. This will show that heat map, it will show the featured buyers, and it will hopefully get the price that you think is accurate for that property. Does that sound exciting to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Last feature, Buyside, helping you to close deals quicker. Wouldn't it be nice? Right? Wouldn't it be nice if you could just get them to closing a little bit quicker? How do you do that? One way is working with people you know. Wouldn't it be great to do more deals in-house with your peers that you know the quality of service that they're going to provide to their client? You know the level of professionalism that you guys have amongst one another. We have an intelligent matching component. This matching component will match buyers to listings and listings to buyers, but it's all done via the agent. So you can go into your system, and if you have a listing that's been on the market for a little bit and you reduce that price, you can go in and see your matching buyers and connect with all the agents who may or may not have noticed that you did a price reduction. And you can send them an email really quickly or call them. Looks like you have a buyer, let's make this deal. How about if you have buyers, right? You guys use your MLS to search for properties for your buyers. Continue to do that. Maybe even consider using your own brokerage websites or your mobile app, because you can control the conversation, you can control the visuals at that point. We can get into that in a little bit. But if you utilize that buyer search activity, keep that going. But if your buyers are in the system, you're going to be able to see what other Macaulay listings match your buyer. And guess what? We have a coming to market feature. And your coming to market feature helps you digitize your conversation in your office meetings. Do you guys ever talk about, I have a listing coming on the market, seller needs to go on vacation, paint the house, but I swear to God, he's putting it on the market, right? So digitizing that conversation, happen to miss a meeting, you can go right in the system and see if anything matches your buyers, giving your buyers the competitive advantage in this market. How cool is that, right? Okay, let's go live in the system. Everybody excited? Okay. Minimize this and minimize that, and we're going to go to see Joe Broker's webpage. So my buddy Joe Broker here, please don't make fun of him. When we go into his dashboard, he doesn't have a whole lot of activity. But he is my test agent, he's a fake agent. Each and every one of you will have your own personalized page. It'll have your headshot, your name, and your phone number on here, okay? You can market this page as a standalone, or like I said, you could put this into your own websites, right? You can have a section on your website that actually talks to sellers and addresses what the seller wants. Have you guys looked at that lately? Have you looked at the experience online for sellers and what we're providing to them? It's heavily focused on buyers because it's focused on property searches, right? And even though that's the aspirational next step for a seller, first step is getting your house sold. But we've done a really poor job as an industry engaging with sellers online and providing them with the research and resources that they want. And we all know every consumer does their research online, right? So it's time that we start to provide these opportunities to sellers. So this website is fully seller focused. It's meant for you to capture a seller lead, okay? So remember that, capturing seller leads. You guys can market this standalone page, or like I said, you can put it into your website. Some ways that you want to market this. Tell me what you guys do right now to market yourselves. What's that? You send info. What do you send to your sphere of influence? Do you send postcards? Emails? Calendars? Social media, right? How many of you send just listed or just sold postcards? Right? You guys use Express Stock to use a couple other products, right? What was it called? I don't know where I put all my papers. Continuity, right? What is your call to action on all of those pieces? What do you expect that consumer to do as soon as they receive that? How many calls do you get? She started to laugh before she even answered the question. Like, I know where she's going. Do you know why we don't get calls and emails? We're big, scary real estate agents. No, we're not. What they don't realize is that we're there to help them, right? But we're going to ask really logical questions. What's your time frame for moving? What's your reason for moving? Do you know how scary that is to somebody who's just in research mode? Maybe to somebody who hasn't even told their spouse that they're thinking of moving, right? And then they're going to call us and admit that they're going to do this? No, they're not going to do that. So the reason why we're not getting phone calls and emails is because they're still in research mode. And we continue for decades. We have tried to force them out of this. And what's the definition of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? Insanity. I know y'all are not insane, but we've got to change our habits, right? We've got to change our habits, and we've got to start talking to our consumers in the way that they want to be spoken to. So, in addition to every single marketing effort that you do right now, right? I'm not asking you to go spend more money. I'm not asking you to add more marketing efforts. But in addition to your phone and email address that you put on those pieces, add this URL, right? What's the harm? Add this URL and maybe a message. Discover your home's value. Find out how many buyers are searching for your home. What's your home worth? Any of that. If it's a seller-focused piece, especially a just sold postcard, you're trying to engage sellers, right? Encourage them to go here. Don't make them call you. Don't make them email you. When they go to this site, I gotta find my papers. Oh, here they are. When they go to this site, the only thing they can do is type in their address, right? Because we don't want them to get lost in La La Land. So when Joe delivers me a marketing piece, and he delivers this site, I'm going to type in my address, because you know what? I don't have to call him, and I kind of like that I don't have to call him. I type in my address, it'll auto-populate, and I'll hit search. Now I'm reminded that Joe was the one who delivered this site to me. He's up front and center. I also can see my property address, and I can also see my home scrolling around in the background. Okay? Now I came here to find the value of my home. So give that to me right up front and center. Did you notice how we didn't put up a nice little form asking them for their first name, last name, email address, firstborn child, any of that? That's because we want to be effective with helping you capture this lead. How many of you currently have lead capture opportunities or marketing strategies that put a form up right away? Think about that. If you don't want to fill it out, nobody else will. So you have to give them, this is going back to Buffini, give them something to sink their teeth into. Give them an item of value. Prove your worth, right? You have to earn the ability to have them respond to you and want to call you. So we get here, there's my beautiful house, look at how cool that is. And we see these different ABMs. Now as a seller, I'm thinking, okay, what's the value of my homes? Can I afford to sell my home? Can I afford to do this on my own? Can I research enough to do it on my own and maybe save that commission, right? Or if I do call an agent in, can I get them to reduce their commission because I did all the research? Who's had that happen, right? I've had that happen. I'm like, really? Really? Come on. So here we are, I'm a potential seller and I see the value at $335. I'm like, seller, you don't know anything. Ooh, $397, I want that one. That's the one I want. Can I just pick that one? Right? This is what they're thinking. But what they don't realize is that these comps are not taking an effective evaluation of their property and all the other results around them, right? And that's why they've got to call you. So we ask a very logical question. Do you notice variations in the values above? Duh, right? A realtor understands your home better than a cold computer valuation model. Ask a Macaulay real estate agent to create a comparative market analysis for your property. It's complimentary and comes with no obligation. Contact Joe. This is our first lead capture form. Now I will tell you, most people, they're going to say, I don't know, Joe, I don't know if I want him to call me, but this is interesting, right? He's showing me 3 different values. This is getting a little gears in my head churning a little bit. They have the opportunity to fill out their first name, last name, email, and phone number, or they can continue down to what's the condition of my property. Now, what do sellers love to do? Lie? Somebody said lie. Hired sellers are all hired, right? Whatever. No, it's true. I mean, let's honor them a little bit. They're not lying. They just might be pushing a little bit, right? Right? Like my house is the best one on the block. Bob down the street, he sold his for way undervalued. He didn't know what he was doing. I know what I'm doing because my house is made of gold, right? Well, notice how we put the slider on needs work. Okay? And if they want to change this, if they try to move that slider, we kindly ask that they verify they're the owner of the home. Because if they want to control the conversation, we want to make sure that they're the owner. Guess what, guys? This is a lead capture opportunity for you. This is where they can click on their social media, which is a lot easier than typing out their name, phone number, and email. Don't you agree? Because that's scary. That takes effort, and it's just emotionally scary. But they can click on their social media, and you get provided first name, last name, and email address. You just captured the lead. Isn't that pretty cool, right? This is a very effective way to get them to respond to you. Also, people are click happy, right? I mean, how many of you have gone on Facebook lately to find out what kind of cocktail you are? Right? Has anybody given you a quiz? Right? Have your friends given you those quizzes? Guess what? You've just given your information to somebody. Right? So what we're trying to do is help you secure the information from them. Okay? And it's a very effective way because they want to tell us something. So they're acknowledging that they want to share with you. Right? Then we get down into the good stuff. We know where and what buyers are searching for. This heat map shows the online buyer search activity. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. This seller can now see, based on the color, the darker the red, the more active the online searches for properties are in that area. The lighter the color, the less active the online searches are. Pretty cool, huh? It gives that seller the opportunity to really sink their teeth into the possibility of selling their home to another human, a buyer. Then we scroll down, we break it down by price range and by bedroom count, and then we scroll down giving them more and more information. Why? Because they're going to ask for it anyway. Why not have you be the go-to resource, right? How many times have your sellers asked for reports that they have no idea what they're looking at, right? I had a seller ask me once, can you get me the MOD report? You mean DOM? Is that what you're looking for? I mean, sometimes you really have to dig into their psyche to figure out what it is that they want. So we give them supply side trends, homes sold per quarter across all price ranges, median sold price, and the number of homes sold. Then we show them recent nearby sales, just giving them some insight into what activity has taken place. Remember, this site is provided by you, the knowledge broker, and it is intended to get their information, win them over, and impress them. So they have the opportunity to contact you, or we give them the opportunity to sign up to receive monthly updates. Do you guys have automated marketing systems in place? Aren't those awesome? Right? The easy button. So if this consumer decides that they like this information and they want to sign up to receive this monthly report, an email is sent to them every month on behalf of you without you lifting a finger. Now, for those of you creative ones, we're going to clap up here. For those of you that are a little bit creative in the room and thinking, wow, how can I do this right now? I have had some agents go in and type in some of their more prominent potential sellers, right? Ones that haven't listed yet, but you know they're right for it, right? They're ready to go. They've got to want to sell soon. Their kids are all in college. They need to downsize, whatever the case may be. I've had agents go in and type in their sphere of influence address here and sign them up for the monthly report. There's no harm, right? Or make it easy on yourself. Send an e-card to them. Or a call to action in your newsletter that says, hey, visit my website to get the value of your home on a monthly basis. Just fill out the form below. Pretty cool, huh? Automated marketing at its best. So this is the home valuation site. This is your marketing tool. This is going to help you engage sellers, hopefully get them to respond to you, and not encourage them so much to have to call you or email you. Give them an easier way to connect with you. Now, let's assume that you secure all of the listings. You get a ton of activity. The screen gets chopped off on one side. There we go. So this listing presentation report, it's a buyer market analysis report. If you get a ton of listing appointments, prepare for your listing appointment with your CMA. Spend all of your time on that. That's where your real deep thought needs to be, right? Spend about 60 seconds and create your BMA. Either through your Moxi Present, or you can come into our dashboard and literally type in the address and it generates a report. It's super easy. But this listing presentation report starts off with a nice cover page. We'll have your contact information on every single page. Has anybody been on a listing appointment and you walk out and your listing presentation is all over the place? You don't know what order it was in? I mean, I've had sellers just, wife's walking away with one thing, the husband's going through reports on another page. So we want your contact information on every single page. The second page of this report is the value proposition for Macaulay. Why are you guys the best? The best of the best. Then we show those real-time valuations. So in our report, you have the opportunity to choose which valuation models you want to show. I always recommend showing Zillow, right? Why not? It's the household name and they've on there anyway. But you have the opportunity to craft the conversation. And I look at this page as your platform to educate your sellers, right? You need to educate them. You need to tell them that what they see on the internet isn't always true. It might just be the beginning of a conversation. Mr. Seller, the reason why Zillow only has 335 and home valuation has 397 is because they haven't walked through the home. They haven't seen the condition. I will tell you, I have this many homes that I pulled out of your CMA, the auto-generated CMA, because they were not a direct comp for your home. That's what they're factoring in here. That's why you need me. You also have the opportunity to type in your own value. So if you want to educate them on AVMs and then type in your own value and then bring in your CMA and have that conversation, it's a great way of doing that. And then you get into the heat map. And that's where you show them the real-time demand for their home. Now, you guys are just getting started with this system. As you get working in the system, you're going to have opportunities to enhance it, to start to break down those online activities in that funnel format to get very specific to that seller's home. And you're also going to be able to show your buyer activities. And you're probably wondering, Jen, how do you know who I'm working with? Well, we don't have any superpowers. Sorry to say, I wish I did, but I don't. But you guys have systems in place. You have systems in place that can help you build buyer profiles automatically. You guys have search opportunities on your websites, right? Imagine that. Set up your buyer on a search on your website. Guess what? If there's a buyer search activity on your website, we can build that profile in here automatically for you. You don't have to lift a finger. And that buyer profile can be exposed to the matches of listings that other people are going on appointments for. So you guys can start to network in-house and get those deals done quicker. How about your mobile app, right? Buyer saving properties, saving searches on that. It's another way we can help you build those automatically. We're constantly looking for ways to help you and to really help keep you from having to enter anything in twice, right? That would just be not fun. But if you don't have any of your buyers set up on any of these automated searches, or if you don't want to put them on a search on your website or anything like that, you can go in and you can type in, I'm a buyer, what their search criteria is. You just need location, price range, and purchase by date, right? 6 months, is it 2 months, whatever the case may be, and then that profile comes in here. Literally takes about 15 seconds to enter one buyer, if you want to do that. So these reports are going to grow and get enhanced over the next couple months. So right now, you guys are going to see it up until the heat map, but don't be surprised if in the next 30 days you start to see more pages come in there that tell you more and more of the story for your sellers. It's pretty exciting. We have a lot of great training resources for you. We've got 3 sessions that are going to be coming up. You guys have them on your chairs for the webinar training sessions that will be coming up. So we're going to walk you through how to do that. And we also have an amazing help center. So our help center is inside the dashboard. Zoom out just a little bit. When you guys get into your dashboard, you guys all know Macaulay Connect, right? Monica was just there, so she's still in the room, so say, yes, we love Macaulay Connect. She can hear you. So when you're in Macaulay Connect, if you go off to the left-hand side, SSO portal, Buyside is right there. Okay? We're working on a single sign-on for you guys. Do you guys know what single sign-on is, SSO? No more passwords, right? You don't have to have an extra password or a username to get in. You just get right in. When you get into the system, this is what it would look like. We're going to walk you through this, so don't worry about it. You don't have to pay any attention, but what I do want to show you right now are 2 things inside the system, just in case you want to get started. If you hover over your name and you go to help, we have an amazing help center in here. Super easy. In this help center, did I get disconnected from the internet? I have a hotspot. I was keeping it secret from all of you guys. Here, I'll show you on my PowerPoint. I have alternatives here. Okay, so this is what my help center looks like if you were to go there. You can search all sorts of different topics. If you want to put in social media, we give you tips on how to produce or promote this on social media. Inside of our system, we actually have a social share option where you can just click Facebook and automatically post it. It's amazing. But in our help center, you're also going to be able to search for topics like how to present that BMA report. We give you a script, and we even have a role play video for you to watch. What happens if somebody just types in their address on that marketing piece, that home valuation site, right? They don't fill out the form. You're still going to get an alert that the address was searched. What can you do? You go knock on their door. I wouldn't recommend it.